All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more about The Terror. So it's this limited series show that was on AMC back in 2017. We're finally reviewing it. We're on episode 3. It's called The Ladder. So full spoilers if you've not seen this episode. Yeah, I continually, this show is still really good. I am not getting tired of the ice lock drama that is going on between the Herberus and the Terror crews, and it's just, I don't know, I just love the simplicity of it and the less is more kind of thing. The what you don't see leaves, everything up to your imagination. And so since, in the real life nobody ever was found from this crew, they get to kind of, be supernatural about it without hitting you over the head with it, just giving you the visceral scares. But it's not just scares that's going on here like of a supernatural kind. It's scares of being out in the ice still. It's now June of 1847, and there's still, of course, nothing going on. They're looking for this bear. They've got people out, scoping what they can see, which is not much. They're also finishing up, closing out the affairs of the Eskimo that they killed, the native that they killed, and getting her ready to go. And they find the charms that were inside his, clothes and coat and stuff. And they keep them with him. It's like, again, these aren't people that believe in this kind of stuff. But once you get that far away from from your comfort zone, superstitions and shit can take over. Now, I'm sure that this guy had his own superstitions, otherwise he wouldn't have them on his person. But they leave them on his person. And, maybe it would have been better for some of them to keep at least one each, but they don't, again, why would they? What would they, So they go to bury the guy, but they just take the big pot full of hot coals and melt a hole in the ice that goes down to, I guess, the water that's underneath the ice. And they proceed to just throw him in there head first and then push him down until he gets pushed out at the bottom of the ice into the water below. And, of course, good sir's like, are you sure we really should be doing this? I mean, this is basically like starting your own fucking Indian burial ground situation, right? So Sir John said it was his idea. It's not lost on me that they're going very anti, the guy who's there that's like for God and country, that doesn't, who's not needing rescue because God and manifest destiny and all that shit's going to get us through, because we're meant to be here. That's, it's our, there's no room in his mind for failure, which it's what you need, but you also have to have reason and not just beliefs. You have to have logic and intelligence to go along with these things. And it's just, Sir John just doesn't really, he's all balls and no brain. And so he's basically spitting, he just bury him, kind of just get it out of it, get it done. And so now we also have the drama between him and Jared Harris's character. Once he's noticed that he wasn't at dinner again, he's not going to the meetings. He's like, screw all this stuff. Which gives Sir John a flashback to right before they were leaving again, where they show the wife gives him the monkey. And, here showing him the coat, her so proud and beaming. The other guy, who was played by the guy from Game of Thrones, who was the Blackfish, he's there to give him a warning. What are you going to do when you're out there stuck? What are you going to do if you need rescue? What's your plan? You don't have one. This is what's going to happen. You're going to be eating your shoes and worse. So this dude's like putting he's telling him, he's laying it on thick because you need to know this shit. But he doesn't listen, and it's funny that this is like some of his last memories. And so Jared Harris comes to talk to him. And while he's talking to him, he's writing the eulogy for Lieutenant Gore, who got killed in the last episode. And he's, preparing. But Jared Harris is captain, or, whatever, second in command. He's talking about, look, I send these guys out, get 8 guys, we send them to, or however many he said, to the outpost so that we can get rescue. This is a rescue operation now. And these, it's 800 miles away, but they have time, so, this is it, but he's still not having it. Sir John just can't. He can't relinquish the fact that he said he knew he was wrong, but he's still like, no, we're not going to give up. Because, failure for these kind of people is not an option. The thought of disgrace and everything is all, how about living? It doesn't seem to enter their minds. And so even with him telling him all the things and then saying, look, if you're saying no, fine, but tell me that you understand. And it just like, all he sees is the anger that this guy isn't just following, he's not him. He's not just going along blindly and believing all this stuff. He's actually making questions. And because they've got that strained relationship now, he's allowing that to fuck him up. Now, look, we don't know what happened on that ship, and so this is heavily dramatized. But I got to imagine that it's not too far off the mark from some of these things. And so when he's telling him off, like, we're, just you do your job, I'll do mine. And that way we don't have to be friends. We just got to work together. And he's huffing out and everything. And so Sir John goes out to meet the men who are in the blind, protecting the polar, looking for the polar bear. They take a picture, which is crazy. When you look at how they did it and how they had to make pictures back then, it makes you wonder how they figured it out in the first place about, like some kind of accident. I believe it was, right? The way that they figured out photos. But like how anybody even thought to like figure any of this stuff out back then is just like, how did we make those leaps? It's just nuts. Human imagination, I guess. But so he's out there. Meanwhile, Jared's writing his resignation letter, and the 2 guys that are caught screwing around, the one guy narcs on himself and says, oh, it was all him and all this stuff. And that part of the plot is so not necessary. I like character development, but this is, okay. So out there, some guys would have sex with each other. I don't know why it's a subplot here, because we don't know what was going on. But no, because that could have been a thing. Let's make it a thing. So I don't know why that's in there, but fine, whatever. Let's just say you probably lost a good core bit of your audience that are over the age of like 60, 70. They're like, back then if they were caught screwing, they'd get hung from the rafters, and they know that in this. It's just, I don't know. And then he takes a shit on the guy's bed later. Like, what the fuck? He uses, we'll get to that then, but he uses an opportunity where everybody's distracted to do that. So anyway, while Jared Harris is, second in command, is writing his resignation, Sir John's out there with the guys after they've taken the photo. And he's sitting there, he's asked, why don't you sit with the men? Maybe you'll be here for when the shot comes. And it almost is just like, okay, what's going to happen? And I mean, I like it because it just happens. Like, dude gets pulled out from behind. If you look at the picture, it's like, how did this thing get to them? They were backed up. Like, it shouldn't have been able to do that, whatever it is. It pulls the man straight up out of the tent with the tent. It's amazing. Because it's just like, holy shit, it's going down. They all start to get separated. They're firing. Body drops. He's missing everything from like here down. It's like his head just like this. And then they start firing. Well, Sir John starts running. Help us. Because, And I like the shot from the distance that you can see a bear. So there is like, it's almost like whatever is out there is able to do whatever it wants with nature and using that nature to make it do things that it wouldn't be able to do normally. Maybe. like some sort of possession. I don't know. But they go out there, the third in command, played by Tobias Menzies. I don't know how to pronounce his last name right now. He goes out there to try to help him, and he almost gets away. This is him. He's about to, come up over the ridge here to get away, and they're there to rescue him, but it's too late. It takes him, and it knew where to take him. It wasn't just killing him, it could have just tore him up right there, because that's what a polar bear would do, or it would carry him way far away to eat him later in the safety and privacy away from soldiers that are trying to kill it. No, it purposely drops him in front of that Eskimo hole. And I mean, come on, what other explanation is there? There is no other explanation. It's got intent, because then it pushes, it's revealed he's ripped off his leg. And so he's bleeding out, which means he'd probably be dead within a couple of minutes either way. But then the bear pushes him into the hole head first that still has the red hot coals inside it. So he's upside down in the middle of a death hole, burning alive on hot coals. This is not a death for anyone. This is a death for people, this is shit from Dante's Inferno kind of levels death. Because then he falls in because the rope breaks, and he's now burning head first underwater, missing lead, bleeding out. He's a goner, and that would have been a terrible, terrible, terrible way to go. It is so fucking awesome. It's just insane. So then now we're minus a captain, and people are getting suspicious now and getting superstitious about how all this happened right after they killed the Eskimo. And, Nomad songs are going to get him out of this. But this does give Jared Harris his moment, now that he's in charge, to send men for rescue after he lets the other guy talk him into one day's grief. And so the last part of this is the girl that they let go. She had been drawn a circle in the snow, which to me was saying that she was looking for some sort of protection, not just of the overhead kind. So she's in her igloo, and you see the shadow of the whatever in front of her, and then it leaves her a dead seal. Now, I don't think that's meant to just be a dead seal. I think that might be a metaphor for something, but maybe I'm just reading too much into it, because now we're getting into that real spooky shit. But it's dead, leaving her something dead could mean it has some kind of significance of it, maybe saying, I revenged your father or something like that. But either way, she's got a lot of food. She's got a nice amount of food there, and that's where we leave it. And that's just so great, because I love that we get this a lot of quiet tension, not so quiet tension, some really good drama with just how these guys are getting along or not getting along, and then we have that insane bit with the bear and everything, and that hole. Oh my God, I will always think of that hole as in the top ways to not go. Putting it on the list of ways not to die. Eskimo death hole. It's not one of them. No thanks. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. You can reach me on Twitter at Yesh8. It's YESSH88. So you can hit me up there with any messages that you want to leave me. If you want to donate to the channel, that stuff is in the description below. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying we'll be back with more terror later. Otherwise, we will see you later.